Hello, Year 11. I'm here to talk to you about your half-term revision, and we're obviously at a really important time of the year now. We're well over halfway through this final year in the build-up to your GCSEs. And the first thing I want to say that's really important, I spoke to some students following the mocks earlier in the year who said that they hadn't done any revision for those exams. They kind of wanted to see perhaps how they'd got on without doing any revision, so they could see how much better they'd do when they did revise. Please don't do that for your PPEs. We know from students in our school over the last few years that the students that make a lot of progress from their mocks to their PPEs make the most progress from their PPEs to their GCSEs, and the students that make the least progress make the least progress to their GCSEs. You can't afford really to be coming out of these PPEs in an undesirable place. So put the work in and make sure they go well. But that's not the only thing that you've got coming up after this half term. We are ramping things up a bit. We are going up a gear. And the first thing is your walking talking mock. So you've all had the experience now of having gone through that over your last couple of lessons. And I want to make sure you're getting yourself prepared to do the other side of this paper when you come back. So the first thing to do is to go back through that first paper and just identify any areas for improvement. So there might be questions that you tried and got wrong, and then the teacher went through them, and you've now maybe got a better understanding of them, but you couldn't get it right independently the first time. Or it might be something that the teacher went through because they knew it would be a bit more challenging, but you maybe didn't quite understand it, or it did make sense to you, but again, you felt you wouldn't have been able to do it independently. So make sure you've got a good idea of what questions from that paper you need to do some more work on. And then one of the things I'd recommend to you is covering the working for the question, because your paper now should have correct working for every question that was in that paper. Cover it up, retry it, and then check it against the working that you had written down the first time. It's important not to do proper read, cover, write check when you're doing this, because you're not just trying to see if you can remember verbatim exactly what the steps were. You're trying to see if you can recall the information from longer ago. So you might want to have a look through to remind yourself, cover it, leave it for a while, and then come back to it later. Then you might want to get some more practice on some of the topics that you're struggling with. I'm going to talk through some of the places that you can go to revise in a bit, but we know that Hegarty is a really good place to go to practice some of those individual skills and to get that instant feedback and to be able to watch a video if you are struggling with something. And then use the shadow paper. So you should have a physical copy of a second version of this paper. There'll be a third version, which will be the one that you're going to sit when you come back after half term. But have a go at that paper, mark it. Again, see if you've managed to close some of those gaps. See if you haven't and you need to do some more work on some bits, you should know what sort of benchmark you need to be aiming for on this paper, and it will be quite high because you know exactly what the questions are. You've been talked through them. But see if there's any more work that you need to do to be reaching that mark. And then for the PPEs, the really important thing for me is that for the time being, you're really only focusing on non-calculator and getting ready for that paper one. The walking talking mock will help get you started on revision for calculator papers and some calculator topics, but your first paper in the PPEs will be the non-calculator, and then you'll have a bit more time after that to start preparing for the calculator exams, which will be the same in the summer. Do some topic-based revision, and we do know that certain topics are much more likely to come up in non-calculator exams, or some that certainly can't come up in the calculator papers. So things like exact trig values, estimation, but there'll be other things, and depending on whether you're foundation or higher, of course. If you're not sure what to have a look at, then do talk to your teacher and see what they say to you. And use practice papers. So just wanted to give you a bit of a reminder of a few of the places that you can go to get hold of those. But if you're doing it more topic-based exam revision, then ExamQ is very good. If you want to look for whole papers, then I would go to Maths Genie. You can find loads of past papers on there. And again, focus on paper one for the time being, but you can download those and have a go, or print them off if you've got the means to, and see how you get on. But in the meantime, if you do have any questions, if you're stuck on anything, if you don't know how to revise it, if you don't know what to revise, then feel free to get in touch with me or your maths teacher. I will get back to you. I can't promise that your maths teacher will. We have lives outside of school, the same as you do, and some of us will be going away for a little bit of time over the half term, but but do get in touch, we will help you out. And best of luck. Thank you.